Hi, good evening, and welcome to my daily live session on various topics for execution excellence. My name is Dinakar. I am the founder of Samutana and the inventor of DoHow. So, let me briefly give an introduction as to what I do and what we do. I changed the background today. You must have noticed that we basically work on leadership and management to improve both the effectiveness and efficiency in organizations by enabling teams to win amazing outcomes, amazing challenges. And what do we do? Uh, Firstly, we basically get the teams to choose the right target. That is what leadership is all about. Choosing the right target, doing the right thing is leadership, effectiveness is leadership, everything about people is leadership. So, first thing is to really choose the right target, both covering the top line and the bottom line. That is the first activity. And then we, of course, get everybody aligned towards that. That's where the people come into picture to really get them inspired to achieving the target. Then after that, make sure that it is achieved efficiently, and that's what management is all about. Doing the thing right is what management is all about, and here it's about efficiency and systems. So both the areas we tackle. So I thought I would change this background because this basically is what DoHow is all about. Improving leadership and improving management in organizations to really achieve challenging goals and amazing outcomes. Can be applied to anything. It's basically Socratic method. I did a couple of videos last week. If you have happened to see that, please do check it out. It's all in YouTube. It's a Socratic method which can be applied for anything. It is not a problem. And domain expertise is required when it comes to solving technical problems. And there, I'm good only in manufacturing, and even my alliance partners are good only in manufacturing. Whereas in terms of the leadership and management, we could tackle any industry. We have done various industries, various sectors, so it's not a problem at all. So with that, if you want to know more about what I do, please do visit dinakarmurthy.com and then check it out. Otherwise, you can always write an email to me. My email is dinakar@samutana.com. With that introduction, I took a little long time because this I felt is quite interesting to talk about both leadership and management. We are basically managing two sides of the coin, which is extremely important for success for anybody. A lot of leadership development programs, a lot of management development programs, but most of them are cognitive in nature. Our activity is 100% Socratic, 100% works on the affective domain, so where the habits get formed, and that's the reason why it is given us good benefits, and our clients have reaped the benefits. So with that brief introduction, let me directly jump into today's topic, which is about the what is called as, I don't know whether you heard of that, it's called as the DIN A3 presentation. So let me share that screen to you first, and after that we can talk about that. DIN A3 presentation is, you can see that on the screen. This is again the standard format. I got the pictorial of what I'm talking in the center, and on the right side and are the pros and cons, and on the left side is where it can be applied. So, what is DIN A3 presentation? So, I go back to my days as a planner, engineering, manufacturing engineer in MICO in the early 80s or mid 80s, when we used to have shop floor visits. You know, in manufacturing, it's quite common for people to go to the shop floor. That's what where the action happens in Japanese. You call it as Gemba, workplace where the action happens. So, when any visitor comes, anybody wants to look at, you go to Gemba. And the reason again also is to make sure that you are closer to the reality and you know what the reality is instead of simply sitting in the air conditioned rooms or in offices. So generally it's quite natural to really present whatever improvements have been done on the shop floor because the improvements are done in the shop floor itself. So here we used to have very quick clear standards. We used to use a pin board of maybe about 4 feet by 5 feet would be the dimension approximately. And on that we could use only 4 slides because you have to read. You know, when you are making a presentation in front of a pin board, people who are seeing that are maybe about 2 meters away, max 2 to 2.5 meters away. So you should be able to read whatever is written on the pin board 2.5 meters away. So that was the basic challenge, and therefore all our presentations used to be on pin boards with 4 slides, and each slide being enlarged after preparing it in a on a A5 sheet using a daisy wheel. I don't know whether you heard of that. Those days, the typewriters had gone, and then in late 80s there was the electronic typewriter which was available, and electronic typewriters used to use what is called as a daisy wheel. That was a wheel with various kind of fonts which would be used for typing out. The typewriter always had a ribbon, and on the top of the ribbon the key would hit it, and that's how the typewriter would type. And this daisy wheel basically was a wheel which was generated, which was controlled using a servo motor, which would basically index depending on which letter you're going to type. And depending on the letter which is typed, it will index there, and then the hammer would hit that particular letter onto the ribbon, and from the ribbon the ink would get transferred onto the paper. That's where the printing would happen. So we would prepare these slides using a daisy wheel, because that was quite neat. And after that, convert that into A3 size paper using again Xerox. We would go those days, the enlargement was there, Xerox enlargement was there, so you could enlarge it to A3 size and then pin it on the pin board for making a presentation. Why I'm telling this is the concept of A3 presentation is something which I've been used to for a long time now, and this is something which is very, very important when it comes to focus, because you could use anything and present anything using DIN A3. It could be a project, it could be a problem which was solved, it could be a proposal for buying a new factory, it could be a proposal for entering into a new market, could be anything. All can be done in DIN3, but there are some challenges there which I would talk about. Firstly, the audience who are listening to that should be top, and as far as the context is concerned, and as far as the methods and tools are concerned, they should be quite clear. They should be really on top of that. Otherwise, they will really see only Greek and Latin. It will be not. They won't really get anything into it, because the entire thing is condensed so much that only the cream of whatever that needs to be said is put on the A3 size sheet, because you can't really package everything on that sheet. That's the first thing. So basically, A3 size sheet is a fantastic tool when it comes to making presentations in companies, especially in companies, not for a customer or not for a public audience, because that will not really give the required impact, because the context will not be known. Just to explain the context and come to the context itself, you need some time. Whereas in the A3 size presentation, the context is known by the audience, so you're generally directly jumping into the presentation without much, what should I say, time spent on the context. That is the first thing. Second thing is, the audience is quite thorough with all the methods that are being used. For example, I'll tell you, it's very crazy, but still very, very effective. For example, the way the sales is forecast. I showed my graph in the earlier pictorial. You see on the left, towards my right on the top here, there are some graphs. This is called as a waterfall chart. When the top one is a simple straight graph, which is the sales graph. The bottom one generally is used for finding out how the profitability improved. That's called as a waterfall chart. Now, these two charts are something which I am used to. Okay, there may be many who are not used to that. And unless the audience is used to the kind of visualization which is quite common, or for example, the other one on the left side, there is this Ishikawa diagram, or the cause and effect diagram. This is quite simple. If everybody is used to that, then it is okay, they can catch it. Or on the top, it says AEPT. What is that? Actual, estimate, plan and target. That means actual value, estimate, the latest estimate, and what is the plan you had for the next for achieving that particular target, and what is the target you have got. Target is on the right side. Then comes the plan. How much did I plan to achieve? Because plan has to be more than the target. Then comes on the left side the estimate. Estimate is something which says as of now, am I going to hit the target or not? And A is the actual. So these four again come something standard for me. It doesn't really make a big difference. So such pictorial visualizations should be known to everybody. Or on the left side here, I've got the PDCA. You can see that, right? The PDCA cycle on this side. That's a PDCA cycle. Or on this side, you got the teams. This is a team with multiple mindset. If you see my mindset video, you can see that. So these are all things which are quite evident for me. And similarly, when you do an A3 presentation, it's important that people are quite familiar with the methods and tools and visualizations used there. Then only they can catch it fast. Otherwise, it'll take a long time to discuss that. With that, that's something which is very important. So where can you use it? I'll talk about that tomorrow in detail. But as an introduction, it can be used for anything. It can be used for increasing new sales strategy. It can be used for purchasing of a machine. It can be used for new investment, new plant building. It can be used for deciding on the action to solve a particular problem. It can be used for improving the profitability. It can be used for product cost reduction projects. It can be used for a wave project. Wave, by the way, stands for value analysis and value engineering. So it can be anything, any activity. You can use a DINA3 presentation. Tomorrow I'll talk about the applications, and look forward to meeting you again tomorrow. And please do write to me and write a comment in one of the social media platforms, or write an email to me on what is your opinion on the first introduction which I did, which was this slide which I am talking about. Where my background, does it sound better than the earlier one, where I'm telling that we are doing basically working on leadership and management? That's all. It's about effectiveness and efficiency, people and system. We cover everything. That's it. So thanks a lot, and see you tomorrow at 8:30 Indian Standard Time, for 8:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time, to talk about the applications of DINA3 presentation. Thanks a lot, and goodbye.